Kawhi Leonard responded to the allegations of wrongdoing with Aspiration and salary cap circumvention involving the Clippers, and I've got a bone to pick with some of the things that he had to say. Make sure you do subscribe right here to the channel, the Basketball Bulletin. The new NBA season is here. Hit that subscribe button and stay in the know. I'm Trevor Lane, joined by Donnie Freeman. Donnie, you had a good time yesterday with Lawrence Frank's comments. Now we got to dig into Kawhi's comments on this whole Aspiration scandal.
Yeah, for sure. I'm surprised they even fielded questions. I completely expected them to just say no comment anytime asked about something like that, or I'm not going to talk about that. That's what these guys typically do. And they actually answered questions, which is like, wow. So yeah, I thought it was hilarious. Like in my video yesterday, we had the Lawrence Frank comments, and the viewers can attest to it. I couldn't help it.
It's only like 20 seconds. I got to play it again because this is so absurd. This is, yeah, this is absolutely insane.
Why even get up there to say anything if this is what you're going to say?
No, exactly.
It's like Ballmer a couple weeks ago. Why even do this interview?
Right. Listen, here's what Lawrence Frank had to say.
Has Dennis Robertson, Kawhi's uncle, ever asked for any extra benefits that wouldn't be allowable under the NBA salary cap directly to you? There's no lot coming out of his asks.
Yeah, look. So in case that was kind of hard to hear there, that was Ramona Shelburne saying, has Uncle Dennis asked for anything that would go beyond the NBA salary cap?
Directly from you.
Directly from you.
Specified, okay.
Yeah. Dennis knows the rules, Kawhi knows the rules, Mitch Franco knows the rules, and we know the rules.
So...
Is that a yes or a no?
Yes, we all know the rules.
Oh my God. Yes, we all know is that a yes or a no? Yes, we all know the rules. Like at that point, you might as well just come out and say the dude's asking for a ton of crazy stuff. Right?
I mean, like if you're not going to say no, then basically anything else is going to get interpreted as a yes.
Exactly.
So why would you even answer these questions? In my opinion? But I don't blame them for wanting to do it. It's just I'm surprised that they did do it, and I'm happy that they did do it.
And Ballmer in his ESPN interview took a very similar strategy of not really answering the question, but by answering the question, by not answering the question about whether or not they were asking for a bunch of crazy stuff. All right, let's get to the man himself, though. Kawhi Leonard. I'm amazed that there's even this is all condensed and aggregated here. I'm amazed that there's even 2 minutes worth of Kawhi talking.
Period.
About
anything.
Kawhi speaking.
About anything. Yeah.
About anything ever. All right, let's take a listen here to what Kawhi has to say about this whole deal. He made some mistakes here. Let's check this out.
Oh, I mean, it's easy for me. I don't read headlines or do conspiracies, theories, or anything like that. So, it's about the season and what we got ahead of us right now. And tomorrow we'll start camp and see what we got.
Right. So that's fine. Just I'm not going to read into any conspiracy theories. I'm just going to focus on the season, and that's that. That's what I expected to be the entire.
I expected.
Yeah, I expected that and nothing more. But we get more.
No, the NBA is going to do their job. None of us did no wrongdoing. That's it. We invite the investigations. It's not going to be a distraction for me or the rest of the team.
Said we did no wrongdoing. I think he said we didn't do no wrongdoing, so double negative there. But anyway, we know what he was trying to say.
Yes.
So he said they didn't do any wrongdoing. All right.
When you say understanding, what do you mean?
Like of the contract you signed and how much money you were to receive, what you were supposed to perform for those services.
I understand that full contract and the services that I had to do. Like I said, I don't deal with the conspiracies or the clickbait analysts or journalism that's going on. So that's what it is.
Okay. So he understands what he had to do for this contract. What was that? What is that thing that you had to do for this contract? He said he fully understands it. What did you do? What did you do for this company? How did we not get that as a follow-up here? How did we not get Kawhi actually explain? If he was willing to talk about it, how did we not get what did you do for Aspiration to earn this 28, 48 million, whatever the number ultimately came out to be? And then he's going to talk about that in a minute too. Mm-hmm. But I think he needed to be pressed more on, great, okay, you did something for them. You had a contract with them. what was it? Did you go plant some trees? What did you do, Kawhi? What did
Yeah,
you do?
I thought the initial question was interesting. Like, did you fully understand like this contract overall? And he's like, oh yeah, I understood everything in the contract. I knew what exactly the full ramifications of it was. We didn't do any wrongdoing. We invite the investigations, all this stuff. Okay, fine. Like you said, well, what specifically did you do? And then secondly, overall, like if you understood that all, if it does come out that there was wrongdoing, you basically admitted guilt in this, because there was a thing where you could have said maybe, like I said a couple of times, you could have maybe said, he's so, he doesn't really say anything.
You could have said my representation handled that or something, and then he
could have maybe did a little bit of that. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But like now you basically have admitted full guilt in this situation if something does come out. But you know what it is too? Is the Clippers seem very, like every time they talk about this, they seem very like smug, very sure that nothing is going to come out. So I do wonder if that isn't just what happens here.
What I mean, but what else are they supposed to say? Be like, oh, we're really nervous about this.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
they don't want to do that either.
They're just projecting confidence in the situation. But again, I'm surprised Kawhi said this much, but that's a great point, that by saying that he fully understands everything that's in the contract and everything that he was supposed to do, if it does come out that he was in some way, committing some type of wrongdoing, salary cap circumvention and all of that, he knew exactly what that contract said and exactly what the contract meant, including the bit about him not actually having to do anything and being able to take advantage of that. So that is interesting.
That's why he did it, is because like we brought up in the very beginning, if that is the situation where you get plausible deniability against any sort of like thing that they want you to do, any sort of shout out, you could say, no, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. You get full veto rights.
Yeah.
Like you're basically getting free money. like you are like
I need one of those.
And that's what I said in the very beginning. I was like, bro, who the heck wouldn't take a contract worth $28 million where for the record, just period, but where they don't have to do anything for the money? That is insane, right? Like everybody would do that, assuming that there's no like strings attached, blah, 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 of course. But in this situation, it doesn't seem like there's any strings attached. So certainly everybody else would do the same deal, right? And in this case, he's in a situation where if he signs up to do that and he was under that situation, I can understand the logic behind it, but again, that's not the right thing that you should be doing in the situation you're in a salary cap league. Everyone else is going to look at that and be like, what are you doing? Right?
If you know that the Clippers are already invested in this organization, how that's going to appear. You have to,
and then he makes so much more money than everyone else doing it too. Like that's ridiculous. Like it's indefensible overall across the board. But hey, again, like I said, maybe that nothing happens here. I would be shocked, but
All right. He talks a little bit about what he was expecting here and why this is all actually old news to be dismissed. We're going to get to that in 30 seconds.
Sleeper is the #1 fantasy sports app. It pays to know sports. Pick more or less on top players. Your first pick is on us, so start winning now. Play in Texas, Georgia, Minnesota, and 27 more states. Pick anytime across all sports, pregame or live. Over 10 million players are already on Sleeper. Make your picks count. Score up to 1,000 times your cash. Join today, get up to $100 credit using code Bulletin. Call your shot on Sleeper. Download now.
Really quick, I just want to say that I don't hear what I'm not saying. Trevorism.
I love it.
I got to throw it out there because last time we had a similar talk like this, someone said I sound like I'm okay with them doing stuff like this, and that's not really what I'm saying. Like I understand that they shouldn't be doing things like that. They understand it as well. I just try to be very open-minded, and I can understand from the perspective of, hey, if I get $28 million for literally doing nothing, I'm probably signing that contract too.
Right,
so,
right.
Like,
exactly.
I don't really blame from that perspective, but again, you're basically cheating. And is cheating okay? No, I don't condone that part of it. Want to make that very clear.
From the NBA's perspective,
for sure,
they absolutely, if they find wrongdoing here, Kawhi says there's no wrongdoing, but if they find wrongdoing, they need to drop the hammer because this is destructive of the league. If they now establish a path towards funneling money to players outside the confines of the salary cap, because that's what's going to happen here if the NBA finds that nothing actually happened, or if they find something did happen. It would be even worse if they find something did happen and the punishment is just a slap on the wrist. This will embolden a lot more teams to do this stuff. So this is very important that the NBA, if they find wrongdoing, Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, charge it up with lightning and hammer the Clippers with this thing.
We've both been on the record many times saying that.
Absolutely. But if Kawhi Leonard had a contract put in front of him saying, here's $28 million for planting some trees, but you don't actually have to plant them if you don't feel like it, I get why he would go, cool, I'll take $28 million, no problem.
Yeah, that's my one point. Like if there's no strings attached, like that's ridiculous. But hey, nothing is free, right? So
all right. Here's what else Kawhi had to say. This is where it gets a little crazy.
I think it's accurate, but it's old. This is all new to you guys. The company went bankrupt a while ago, so we already knew this was going to happen. So
we already knew this was going to happen. The company went bankrupt a while ago, so we already knew this was going to happen. I don't know if he's like intending to say what he said there, but was he just saying that when the company went bankrupt, he knew, oh no, all this stuff's going to go public, so we knew a while ago we were going to have to deal with this?
That might have been the case.
I don't know if that's what he was trying to say.
But that's the implication here. But the thing with this is that going bankrupt is one thing, but the entire legal process around this and the transparency around Aspiration certainly shines a spotlight on this. And he just got mixed. Him and his situation comes under scrutiny because of all of this stuff as well. And it's much more transparent than these types of things normally would be. So I don't know if he expected that fully, but yeah, the fact they went bankrupt and all that information is just out there, then that, he probably would have expected that the stuff would have came to light at some point, which, by the way, you're either like in that situation, you're either very sure you did nothing wrong, or you're like, well, we got caught. It is what it is. Like you can go either way. Like I can't get a read on what his like perspective is on it in that specific.
You can't get a read on Kawhi about anything ever.
Well, I that's true, but I feel like he's pretty confident, like they've been, like you were saying, because they're not going to say anything else. But with that situation overall, it's like, did we just get caught, or is it? Well, they found out, whatever. It was going to come out anyway, because it's not illegal for players to take sponsorship deals. That's not illegal or uncommon. It's just the situation around this and all the different layers of fishiness is the problem.
It's illegal for teams to compensate players outside of the salary cap. And it's not illegal for a player to take an endorsement deal. If that endorsement deal is a way to circumvent the cap, though, then it is.
Like Steve Ballmer owning 3% of Aspiration.
Just saying.
No. But the company went belly up. It was frauded, as everybody knows. If you want any more questions or more details about that company, you can either ask the owner or whoever else is involved in the fraud that went on. I'm not sure. I gotta look back at the books, but no, it's more than that for sure. That's
where he was asked about how much he's actually owed. And he's saying, no, I was owed more. I think there was what, 7 million was what was.
Yeah. There was a quote going around saying that they owed him like more than 7 million, that he never got paid out.
And he's like, oh no, they owe me more than that for doing nothing.
Right. Like that to me is so funny, because he's like, wait, there's all these allegations about how much money he's making, all this stuff from Aspiration. But he's like, wait a minute, forget all that. They never finished paying me. Where's the rest of my money at?
Like the allegations are that part of this whole thing is that he got ungodly sums of money to do nothing, to literally do nothing. And he may contend that that's not the case, but great. Then what did you do? Why has that not been put out there yet? That he actually did. By now, if he had done something, if there had been some, look, social media would have found it by this point. If there was, Kawhi promoting them on Instagram or something like that, but obviously that doesn't exist. So when to have the balls to sit up there and say, oh no, they actually owe me more than that for doing nothing. I mean, to me, that's a little crazy. Like you should be thrilled you got anything for doing nothing, just for signing your name on this contract. But to say, oh no, they actually owe me more than what's being reported. Good Lord.
I mean, it makes me kind of wonder if anybody else made any extra money from Aspiration. I wonder about that, but that's not something that came out in terms of like the fraud case. So I don't think that that's the case, but it makes me wonder because Kawhi's name is in this, but he didn't do anything illegal on that scale. But it's just, if that is true, that is an NBA thing. So
Right.
that's problematic.
No, it was like 2, 3, 4 years ago.
So this is old news, man.
Yeah. Why is anybody talking about it? It's old news.
I think it's easy. For us, it's nothing to hide. There's no wrongdoing there. So we're just going to keep going as any other season. My name might pop up, but it is what it is. I've been through times like this before, just going through the year last year with going through the fire. As soon as I came back, that first game, my house and my community caught on fire. So I don't think it's going to be harder than that.
Oh, okay. I was like, I don't know, but then okay, I get that.
The fires, like, is that a little?
It's a little different,
right? But is it a little gross to equate what he's going through right now, where he is rumored to have been paid tens of millions of dollars, whether the number's 28, 48, whatever it actually is at, to equate the scrutiny over that with people losing their homes and fires burning. Yeah, I mean, like an actual tragedy.
Yeah, I said a little. It's very much different. I don't know if I would make that comparison if I'm Kawhi.
Yeah,
I guess his key takeaway is that he's been through tough times.
Sure,
I guess
falling under the umbrella of tough times.
Yeah, I guess he certainly had other tragic events in his life as well. But absolutely. I would probably not throw
his father
fires. Yeah, the fires that ravaged so much of LA last year. I wouldn't, not me personally.
Right. Yeah. And now to cap things off, I did want to also mention that we didn't touch upon it when we hit that point, but he dismissed the reporting on this from Pablo Torre. He didn't specifically say Pablo Torre, but he said clickbait journalism is what this is. And it's just sensationalism. I mean, there have been some really deep dives here into this material. Tons and tons and tons of interviews. And Pablo has talked about how he's got a bunch of more information that he can't even put out there, that there's people who would want to say something, but they're fearing reprisals and things like he's done a lot of work on this. This is not just, he made some crazy story up off the top of his head. So dismiss it all as clickbait journalism. Great. If you really think it's that, then why? Then why is it? Why is it that nothing was wrong here, that everything was on the up and up? Tell us. That's the part that we still have not heard. What is the Clippers and Kawhi's explanation for all of this? Because right now, all we have, I would love to hear it. There's two sides to every story. But right now, all we have is this mountain of evidence to show that they probably did something pretty wrong here. Would love to hear about all of that before you just dismiss it all as clickbait journalism.
Yeah, and that's a bit of maybe a too general term. Pablo is great at what he does. He's great at coming on and making a YouTube video, a podcast about all the evidence he found, and just the packaging of it. As a YouTuber, I can really appreciate the way he goes about structuring his videos. So maybe if that's what he means, like, it is kind of sensationalized. I won't deny that, but the evidence is the evidence. The information is the information. I don't want to say the facts are the facts because we're not there yet, but that stuff's all out. And he's done this reporting for months and months and months to piece all these different things together. Like earlier, you were talking about how maybe if there was something on social media, we would have found it. He already dug into that. Yeah. He had already come to the conclusion that there was nothing out here. There was this one thing, but that doesn't really fall under the umbrella of this. And he had talked to all these people. So it's not like he just put this together in the span of like a week. This was months and months of digging and investigative work. So I wouldn't just dismiss it that way. And it is unfortunate, I will say, from the Clippers side, that we haven't had any concrete rebuttal to anything that has really been out there. It's all just been, oh, this is nothing. Oh, I don't know. Oh, we know.
Palmer's saying, I don't know.
Like, that's all we've seen. And so by nature of that, we are in a situation where we are forced to take the side of the side that has more information out there. Right. And so if more information comes out, if the NBA finds that nothing was done and they put some information out on that, I think more people would be understanding of that situation. But until then, I mean, there is no evidence the other way to support the contrary. And now, lack of evidence isn't proof of wrongdoing. but they haven't specifically done anything to defend themselves in this case. So
nothing that is in any kind of way persuasive at all. I mean, you
remember
look
what
at
Adam said though, also really quick. Sorry. He said that the public is very good at drawing early conclusions, basically.
and that's true.
Yeah.
That is true. And that's why I've been saying there's two sides to every story. I'm really curious about what the Clippers side is here. Why do they believe so steadfastly that they didn't do anything wrong? Why does Kawhi say that we didn't do anything wrong, and we are just not hearing what that is? So the absence of that appears to be damning, right? We're just assuming, well, because they're not saying that, that means it doesn't exist, and therefore, they must have done something wrong. That may not be the case. It could be they just want the NBA to uncover all this as part of their investigation. They don't want to go back and forth through the media. That's fine. But at some point, I would like to hear, whether that's today or a few months from now, whenever, I'd like to find out, what is the Clippers' side of this? Why do they feel, beyond just Steve Ballmer saying, oh, it was fraud, I don't know. They conned me. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Aside from that, what's your defense against all of this? Because at the very least, it looks beyond fishy. I mean, we're probably past the point of this being something that is just coincidence right now. So that's what I'm curious. How do the Clippers prove that they really didn't do anything wrong here?
I think with the initial reporting, before more and more information came out, like specifically like when Ballmer came on, that was at a point where he could maybe spin it that way. But there's been so much more coming out since then that I just don't think that'll cut it anymore. And that's the problem here, is they probably didn't know how much they had, even though, they said initially they had so much information that kind of just, I guess, called their bluff on it. I'm also wondering what the organizational communication strategy is on this, because we've had guys come out and say different things. They're not seemingly aligned. Kawhi is sitting here. This is hilarious because he's the guy that never says anything. And now you have a clip of him saying too much. Like, he's talking too much. Like, that's hilarious to me. I don't know what the strategy is on an organizational level to handle this in the media, but I did think it was telling that Kawhi said this isn't going to be something that is a distraction, basically. Like, my name may pop up, but organizationally, we're all right with that, and we're going to be moving on. Now, actions speak louder than words. We need to see that as well, but I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, no, I mean, he is steadfastly believing that this is not going to be a problem for the Clippers, and we'll see how that goes once they actually get out there on the floor and start playing. I think there is an information gap right now where people still ask, it's not believable that if Steve Ballmer feels like they conned him, why did he keep giving them money? Once he started realizing, hey, this is a scam, why would you continue giving them money? Why? And then on the part of the quote con artists, right? Those who committed fraud within this company, just because you commit fraud doesn't mean you're insane. And you would have to be insane to say, I want to light $48 million on fire. Which is effectively what you'd be doing if you're paying that to Kawhi Leonard to do nothing for you.
Remember,
why? Who would do that? Why would that be the case? Those are questions out there that we still don't have answers to, and I would imagine are going to be very difficult to answer.
Yeah. Remember, you said in the beginning, like, if he knew they were going to go under, why wouldn't he just keep them afloat? It since came out that he did try to keep them afloat.
Yeah.
At least, I mean, he could have.
To a degree.
Yeah, he could have. I mean, he could have kept them afloat if he wanted to, but
he even felt it.
Right. But he did put more money back into them regardless of that, and tried to shield them from that. It's just, I think with him and with all the situation, again, for the 10th time, if that is something that comes out to be truthful, I think that he didn't think that all this is coming out. Contrary to what Kawhi was saying, I didn't think he was thinking this would come out, because when you sit back and really think about all the different maneuvering that they did to set this up, this is not something the NBA would have ever uncovered without Pablo.
Oh, no. He's going to... Kawhi's thinking, how did they know it was me? I named it KL2 Aspire. What the heck? It's like Superman putting on the glasses.
Aside from that was the easiest part to the whole thing. Aside from that, I don't think they would have ever found out about like all the different layers to this, like as on the NBA level. They may have never even investigated this. Like, if this stuff doesn't come out this way. So I don't think that they thought this all was going to come out this way, contrary to what he was saying. So we'll see what happens ultimately, though.
All right, everybody, give us your thoughts on the situation. Kawhi's comments, I don't even want to say explanation, but Kawhi's comments on the situation, as well as we got a good laugh out of Lawrence Frank and his response to
I
whether or
even go
not.
up there.
Oh, man, that was so good. So good. All right, everybody, don't forget to subscribe right here to the channel. New NBA season is here. Again, make sure you hit that subscribe button. In fact, you know what? If you're still watching right now at this is one of our longer videos. If you're still watching right now at this point, do me a favor. It's in the comments section. Just say I'm a real one so we know that you made it all the way till the end. Thanks, everybody. See ya and stay safe.